All right, so we are live. I'm Eric from TK Odds alongside my good friend Ray Flores from One Championship. How are you, Ray?
I'm great. Eric, how are you doing, my man? Just enjoying springtime here in Chicago and getting ready for a busy couple of weeks of fights here.
I know you're gonna be busy, so what I'm gonna try to do is to get as much information from you as possible before you fly to Bangkok to do the upcoming. That's one of the first thing that I want to talk about, the upcoming event on One Championship on Prime Video with Smila Sandel going up against Natalia Diachkova. That's gonna be a pretty nice main event. Talk to me about that event.
Man, I'm really excited about this, Eric. I mean, really, we're continuing to go into the springtime with a lot of momentum, a lot of energy with One Championship, One Fight Night 22, coming up on Friday, May 3rd, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time on Prime Video here in the United States and Canada. You can watch it on Sky Sports in the UK or also other entities worldwide. But we have the One Strawweight Muay Thai World Championship on the line as you have Smilla Sundell, who's the youngest champion in One Championship history, defending her title. She is riding a 4-fight win streak, unbeaten over her last 12, taking on a very determined Natalia Diachkova, who's won 5 in a row. Now, Smilla Sundell is somebody who will always test herself against the world's best, and she's not even 20 years of age. She's coming off of a win over Alicia Helen Rodriguez last September in Singapore, but this, I believe, is going to be the biggest challenge of her career. Diachkova is very mild mannered, quiet, but inside the ring, she's dangerous. 3 of her last 4 wins have come by knockout. She's got power. She's got a variety of ways that she can attack you with her striking. I think this is going to be a barn burner. Do not miss this main event. It is going to be absolute pandemonium between these two world class competitors.
Yeah, she's a great fighter. She's always in my parlays, and she's only 19 years old, which is amazing to me because she's very tall. She's very very rangy. She's got good striking defense and rangy and a very skillful Muay Thai fighter.
No question about it, Erica. And she's only getting better. And it's incredible to think that she is a world champion and not even 20 years of age, making history, being the youngest champion in One Championship history. But as she gets into being in her early 20s, I think she realizes that she could continue to really further her legacy and just showcase how brilliant she is. But again, on Friday, May 3rd at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time on Prime Video, it's not going to be easy because Natalia Diachkova is like, look, you're standing in my way of becoming a world champion. Here's the deal, Eric. Facts of life, man. Only the world's best strikers are here in One Championship. So we're going to see who's going to grab that mantle and truly prove that they are the one of the best strikers on the planet when the One Women's Muay Thai Strawweight World Championship will be decided.
Yeah, Natalia is in a streak right now, and she's been doing very well in her last couple of fights in Muay Thai because she used to fight in MMA, but now she's a full-time Muay Thai fighter, and she's probably gonna be a very good test for the champion.
I agree, man. And you know what? Smilla Sindel is always one to say, hey, bring me the best of the best. Well, here we go with another hungry and just very focused challenger, Natalia Diachkova. Again, Friday, May 3rd, man. We are really going to kick off the weekend with a bang on Prime Video.
You already know, guys. Don't miss that fight on Prime Video. Okay, so this coming Saturday, we got a very interesting matchup between WBC 140-pound champion Devin Haney going against Ryan Garcia. And I mean, the odds are like super wide between these two hungry, hungry young fighters. And I mean, it's a matchup that in paper, I would say like, okay, Haney should win. Haney is the safe bet. But does actually Ryan have a chance? Because I already heard Timothy Bradley saying that if Ryan wins, he's quitting commentating from boxing. What do you think,
Does
Ray?
Ryan have a chance? Yeah, of course he has a chance because Ryan has, he's very fast. He's very powerful and he has a wicked left hook. Now, I hope he's been working on that right hand of his with Derek James, I don't know if it's the former or current trainer of Errol Spence, and work with Anthony Joshua as well. But Derek James is a fantastic trainer. And I know that Ryan has been, he's a very polarizing personality. He's very active on social media. Some would say that he's a bit too active on social media, but here's my thing. I'm not a fighter, and who are we to judge? Whatever you do to get yourself prepared and get ready for a particular prize fight, that's on you. Some people like it when guys are in isolation, but everyone has their own method to their madness. And with Ryan, I think him, being so open and honest with people and having opinions about a lot of different things, I think it works for him in terms of motivating him. It keeps him relaxed. It keeps him not necessarily focused on the mundane task of training day in, day out. Look, I know plenty of prize fighters, and I can tell you that, yeah, training does get a bit, it's like Groundhog Day. You do it over and over and over again. It's tough on you physically, mentally, spiritually. And if this is an outlet for him to be vocal on social media and be out. I mean, I thought I saw something along the lines of like yesterday or 2 days ago, he was at the club in New York City and stuff like that. I mean, hey, that works for him. I mean, he's going to be fighting that night anyway. So if he's still able to get his rest and do what he has to do, he has a team around him for a reason. And hopefully they are making sure that he's in the best shape. I mean, he looks in great shape physically. When they were at the Empire State Building yesterday, he had his shirt off and just a backpack, and he looks, shredded and ready to go. Now, is he ready for Devin Haney? I don't know, because, Devin Haney is going to come very well prepared, has a high ring IQ, tremendous technical boxer, and I think looked fantastic in his last outing against Regis Prograis, a fighting which I thought Haney should have stopped Prograis. But Regis Prograis tough as nails, world champion. So, no shame on not stopping Regis Prograis.
Yeah, Haney took Prograis to school in that fight. I mean, it was a clinic. He even took him down. Wasn't able to finish him. Regis is really tough guy. My prediction is that Haney is probably going to win this fight on the scorecards. I don't know if there's going to be a knockout. Knowing Devin Haney, I'm not so sure about the knockout, but that's my prediction. What's your prediction?
I mean, look, I like both guys. So, I mean, if you're asking me in terms of money-wise, I mean, you have to lean towards Devin Haney, and I think the smart money is going on unanimous decision. But if you think about it, Ryan, if he's going to win this fight and surprise people because he is a heavy underdog, he's plus 500 right now, I think you got to look at Ryan needs – I mean, it's weird because it is the same way I look at this fight is the same way I look at the Tank and Ryan fight, with the exception of Devin doesn't have the power like Gervonta Davis. I said it with Tank. If Ryan's to beat Tank, he needs to beat him in the first 4 rounds. He's got to land something significant in the first 2.5 rounds. And he really wasn't able to accomplish that. And what happened in the second round, it was curtains for him when he got knocked down by Gervonta Davis. Now, I think Ryan needs to land something clean in the first 4 rounds, but he's got that window of 4 rounds because once Devin gets going, he's awfully hard to stop. I don't know if Ryan can match tactical brilliance with Devin Haney, but can he hurt him? Can he rock him? Yeah, Ryan's fast. Ryan's powerful. And people are looking at Ryan's tactics to say he's got no shot. Of course he has this shot. He's got a wicked left hook. And if he lands that rocket upon Devin Haney, that could be problematic for him. That's a big if. I don't know if he could do it, but he certainly has the capability to land something clean. Look at Lomachenko. Look at Linares. They were able to land clean shots on Devin Haney. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. The deal is, though, is that Ryan's got to land not just the left hook. He's got to throw the right hand and allow it to be effective. Ryan has said people are doubting my right hand. Well, on Saturday night, you're going to get that opportunity to sort of silence those doubters, because to me, I don't believe that left hook is good enough to be able to beat Devin Haney. He's got to be able to throw the right hand, have it be effective, and make Devin Haney think twice and not just look at Ryan Garcia as a one-handed power puncher with that left hook.
Couldn't agree more. So that's a Saturday. Devin Haney going up against Ryan Garcia. Okay, next fight that we're going to talk about is Canelo versus Munguia. I told people 3 months ago, you want to fight Canelo? You got to knock people out. And I told everyone, he has to knock out Ryder. And everybody was saying, oh, no, he's not going to knock out John Ryder because Canelo wasn't able to knock out John Ryder. Like, yeah, but if he wants to get into the conversation of actually fighting Canelo, he has to get knockouts. We don't want to see decision fighters going up against Canelo. What's your intake on this upcoming fight?
It's a fun fight. It's a hardcore fight fans fight because it is two Mexican fighters colliding on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Canelo hasn't fought a Mexican fighter since dating back to that of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I was at that fight in Las Vegas years ago, and there was a very good atmosphere. There was good electricity. Then the bell rang, and then Chavez Jr. became Chavez Jr. And Canelo showcased why he is Canelo. In this fight, Jaime Munguia is very motivated. I think he has this understanding. He's a heavy underdog, and he's got to go out there and really demonstrate that he belongs in the ring with Canelo. I'll tell you, he's got a Hall of Fame trainer in Freddie Roach who's going to have him in tip-top shape and prepared. But there are levels to this game. Leonard Ellerbe, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, has said it many times. There are levels to this game. And we're going to see on Saturday, May 4th, that there are levels to this because Canelo, there is a lot that comes with the media obligations, fight week obligations, fans, dealing with your family members that are coming into town, Las Vegas. It's different. Canelo's been doing this since he was like 20 years of age. I mean, he fought Floyd Mayweather back in September of 2013 when he was 21 years of age. He's been there, done that 50 times over again. This is nothing new to him. And Canelo still, to me, I don't think he's fully gotten out of the physical prime of his career. Is he in the last third of his physical prime? Yes. But Canelo is a smart guy, knows how to do things correctly, and I think he has more than enough to be able to defeat Jaime Munguia on Saturday, May 4th.
Yeah, my concern with Munguia is that he's such a brawler type of guy that sometimes his defense is just doubtful, and he receives a lot of punishment from other fighters. I mean, Ryder was punishing him a little bit in the early rounds. He was getting clipped. He's got a great chin, but that doesn't really work against a guy that is so skillful as Canelo and so tricky when in terms of going forward and just putting all those hooks together and getting the job done on the scorecards. My prediction of this fight, I think, is Canelo is gonna get him on the scorecards. I don't see a knockout. How do you see it?
I mean, I think Canelo could get a knockout depending if Canelo turns it up, because I think it'll be a fun fight. I think Canelo has to worry about Munguia for the first 6 rounds, and then he can take him into those proverbial deep waters and drown him. But the thing is, when you do try to pick up the pace, you leave yourself susceptible. So is Canelo going to put himself even in a little bit of shred of vulnerability in the fight? If Canelo wants to go out there and really turn up the heat on this guy and the intensity, he could get him out of there. Let's not forget, look, I'm not saying that Munguia hasn't improved, because he has. That is a fact. But let's not forget that Jaime Munguia pretty much, I thought, was a very close fight against Dennis Hogan in Mexico. And people want to forget that. And it's like, what have you done for me lately? But I remember that fight. And listen, has Munguia improved a lot since then? Absolutely, undoubtedly. But still, I can't remember Canelo being in any peril against anybody of the caliber, no disrespect to him, like a Dennis Hogan. This is a different world. This is a different atmosphere. This is different responsibilities. This is a different climate. than Munguia is dealing with. It's one thing to be fighting in your home country in Mexico. It's another thing to be fighting in the ballrooms at the Cosmopolitan or wherever he fights. Now you're going to have over 20,000 people. You're going to have Mexican pride on the line. And it's different when you make that ring walk. It's different the day before the fight. The nerves, Mayweather would get you because he knew it like the back of his hand. And Canelo is very similar. He understands the psychology and what you have to do to prepare yourself to where you're not emotionally overwhelmed. The stress, the anxiety, the fact that he is fighting a fellow Mexican. This is the biggest opportunity of his life. Could we see the best version of Jaime Munguia? It is possible. But again, this is still Canelo. And it's like the old adage of pro wrestling. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Like Ric Flair. Canelo is the man at this stage. And he has walked down that aisle many times. And he's going to do it again. And it will be the Canelo show in the second half of the fight, especially.
Ray Flores would have been proud of that impression that you just did.
I appreciate it.
I agree with everything you said. That the pressure is probably gonna be a big factor on the mental aspect of Jaime Munguia going up against Canelo. Okay, and last before we go, Tyson Fury going up against Alexander Usyk for the whole package for all heavyweight bouts of all four major boxing organizations. How do you see that fight playing out?
I've heard Tyson Fury looks great in camp. That's what I've been hearing a lot of reports of. He looks lean. He looks mean. I mean, not lean because he's not. He looks probably in the best shape that he's been in quite some time. I've been hearing he's been wrecking his sparring partners and doing his thing. Well, I hope so, because the fight was delayed because he had that cut, and that was a nasty cut. I think Usyk is a cyborg, man. I mean, I don't even know if that man is human. He's just so calculated, so focused. I mean, he has this intensity, this quiet intensity about him. He's been born to be a prize fighter, is Alexander Usyk. My only question about this fight is the size difference, because it's going to be a massive advantage in favor of Tyson Fury. Are you asking me my just my intellectual thoughts? I think Fury's going to be a bit too big and powerful, but selfishly, I am rooting for Alexander Usyk. I'm so sick and tired of the Tyson Fury show and his antics and his theatrics and all the kind of crap and BS that comes along with it. I'm done. I'm tired. It nauseates me. It makes me sick to my stomach. Alexander Usyk is a pro's pro. Comes in, fights, does his job, and wants to keep fighting the world's best. He's not worried about being a clown and all this other stuff. And here's another thing. Tyson Fury gets he gets a big pass because he's funny and this and that. It's a bunch of BS. I want to see a guy who fights consistently. Usyk wants to fight consistently. This fight should have been happened. Remember when he fought, they wanted to fight in December. Fury's like, oh, I'm going to fight him in December. I'm going to fight him in December. I knew that wasn't going to happen. And then what it was scheduled for what, February or March or April, whatever. February. No surprise when we were seeing that Fury was out of shape. Oh, Fury's out of shape. And the fight gets magically postponed. And people are going ahead and, they might as well had an orchestra in Tyson Fury's camp because they were playing the violins for him, man. It's ridiculous. Now the fight happens. I'm rooting for Usyk, but I think that if Fury comes in because of his size, because of his power, I think he should have the advantage. But yeah, you better believe I'm going to be waving the Alexander Usyk flag, because I'm not even trying to get political on you. We need to make the heavyweight division great again. I'm not sounding like Donald Trump, but make the heavyweight division great again. Alexander Usyk is that guy. He will be a fighting champion. You won't have to worry about him with his antics and the stupidity and the garbage that comes out of his mouth. He's going to fight. He's going to defend the titles, and he's going to be a pro's pro and not be a clown like he's in Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus like Tyson Fury. And also, Usyk's not going to embarrass the sport of boxing like what Fury did when he got knocked out by Ngannou. Guess who knocked down Ngannou? Anthony Joshua. Didn't even lay a glove on him. Tyson Fury put on his behind because he came in trying to be a carnival barker. That's what happened. Anyways, I'm rooting for Usyk. Smart money says Fury, but hopefully Usyk can take care of this clown and send him back to wherever circus he came from.
Send him back to the Gypsy Circus.
Yeah, the Gypsy Circus. There we go, man. I'm sure there'll be people watching that. But I sure as
Oh
heck
my
won't.
gosh. I mean, again, I couldn't agree more with everything that you said. Every time I see Tyson Fury, I go like, okay, how does this guy become a professional boxer in the first place? Like, he's completely like everything around him he actually looks like he comes from a circus, like this guys that do crazy things and that look all awkward and shit. It looks like that. He looks just like that. It's crazy to me. But yeah, again, the size difference is probably going to be a factor. I'm worried about that. Somehow we know that Usyk is quite good in terms of handling bigger guys than him. He actually did a great job against Anthony Joshua twice, and he could actually make history. Because we know Evander Holyfield actually also was a great cruiserweight who moved to heavyweight and also became a champion. Didn't do quite well after a couple of fights, but Usyk could still remain undefeated. Became a champion at cruiserweight, an undisputed champion at cruiserweight, then moved to heavyweight, became
undisputed heavyweight champion of the world,
undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and that could be a milestone for real. So my money again, it's probably gonna be like you said, smart money is Fury, but I'm also rooting for Usyk to pull up the upset and just shut that clown down.
And you know what? It'll make heavyweight boxing a lot more intriguing because we won't have to worry about the fights will be a lot more entertaining than the press conferences. Press conferences are cool and all, but at the end of the day, I want to see a fighting champion. Usyk has had to be on the shelf because this guy can't get his stuff together. He should have wiped out Ngannou. He didn't. He lost to Ngannou. I don't care what the scorecards say in Saudi Arabia. Fury lost to Ngannou, and we all knew that the fix was in because of the other bigger financial fights down the line. And now here we go with this matchup, and I hope that Usyk's able to pull it off because he's the kind of guy that will then turn around and defend the championship against the number one contender. Maybe he fights Anthony Joshua a third time. Typically, I would say no in that regard. But you know what? AJ deserves it. He deserves another world title opportunity because of what he's done and him being active, and he's quiet about it, and he just does his business. We'll see what happens, though, coming up in about a little under a month's time.
Yeah, AJ was actually able to finish Otto Walling, which some guy who calls himself a champion wasn't able to, and had a big cut on top of his forehead. And the referee just said, like, no, yeah, just keep going. Yeah, he can fight.
Yeah, even though that it was bigger than some of the potholes that we have here in Chicago during the wintertime. But I digress.
Before we go, hey, I got to make a comment. I'm going to make another video about it on my own later on. But what did you think about Jared Anderson's performance last Saturday? That was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, bro. I was out for my brother's fiance's party, so I didn't watch.
Good for you. Good for you. Thank God there was UFC on Saturday, because that was a snooze fest. Like, that was one of the worst heavyweight performances that I've ever watched in my entire life. And before that, Canelo and Ajagba actually had a decent fight back and forth. Yeah. Went to a split decision with Ajagba winning, and then we got to the knockout artist, Jared Anderson, which I call this. I told my guys, I think this was gonna be a knockout. This is one's gonna end up in a knockout. And then he goes to do that crappy fire against a guy that was like 5'9", and guy couldn't even land a decent punch. Like, he was never in wobbly legs. Mary was never in trouble. Nothing. It was just pick-patting. Yeah, it was like a sparring session. Absurd.
See, I'm not a fan of that at all. And the thing is, I know Jared Anderson's been in some trouble recently, and he goes to social media and he wants to, sort of tell people, hey, you're being too hard on me, this and that. Okay, fine. If they're being too hard on you, you have to have performances that back it up. He didn't back it up on Saturday, from what it sounds like, Eric. He still got the win and he's still undefeated, but he didn't necessarily raise his stock on Saturday when it was a busy combat sports night.
Yeah. Do I want to see Jared Anderson against some heavyweight champion? No, I don't want to see him against that. I want him to actually, I don't know, go up against someone like I don't know, what's the name?
King Kong Ortiz.
Yeah, King Kong Ortiz, or maybe Frank Sanchez to just wipe him out of the equation. For sure. I'm pissed.
I think King Kong Ortiz is going to be. He's going to get the call. It sounds like King Kong Ortiz is going to get another opportunity. So that seems to be the fight for Jared Anderson.
Great. Let's just hope that he doesn't get in trouble again like he did against Charles Martin, right, who put him in wobbly legs.
Exactly. Well, we'll find out what happens. He's promoted by Top Rank, so you know they're going to kind of keep him going to try to see if they can maybe line him up for Tyson Fury if Fury is able to defeat Usyk. But we'll find out over the next couple of weeks.
Gosh, Ray, it's been great, man. It's been awesome talking to you.
A pleasure, my man, as always.
Remember, watch Ray on May 3rd?
3rd. Yep, May 3rd.
On Prime Video, Smila Sundel against Natalia Diachikova. Don't miss that. And, well, follow us here on TK Odds, where we knock the sport books out. I'm out.
Later, Eric.